chair of the Military Committee, and from the Supreme Allied Commander Europe. We will have some short opening statements, then we'll go into questions. Admiral Bauer, the floor is yours.
A lot of people call me a general anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, the NATO Military Committee has just concluded its meeting. This morning, the Allied Chiefs of Defense were briefed by the Chief of Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Major General Anatoly Barhilevich. He informed us of the situation on the ground, which remains very difficult. The delays in support have meant serious consequences on the battlefield. Nevertheless, the Ukrainian Armed Forces are fiercely resisting the Russian attacks. And I want to stipulate that today is the 813th day of what Russia thought would be a three-day war. Ukraine has demonstrated the world that it has the ability to achieve unprecedented success on the battlefield. There is nothing they cannot do. All they need is our help. Luckily, more help is underway. We will do everything in our power to make sure that that help reaches them as soon as possible. And at the same time, we're also actively working on maximizing interoperability between Allied and Ukrainian armed forces. Every day, we are growing closer and more interconnected, until one day, the Ukrainian flag will be hoisted in front of this headquarters. As the NATO Secretary General has rightly stated, it is not too late for Ukraine to prevail. Ukraine's freedom cannot, must not, and will not die. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is on a historical crossroads, not only between democracy and autocracy. This is very much also about impunity versus accountability. Our choice is clear. Allied Armed Forces will do everything they can to make sure that the rules-based international order and the democratic values we uphold remain firmly in place. We strive to protect a system in which those in power are held accountable for their actions. And that means that our job is twofold. We need to keep supporting Ukraine and at the same time strengthen our own deterrence and defense. At our sessions today, the Allied Chiefs of Defense discussed how we can increase the executability of the new defense plans that were approved in Vilnius last year. This ensures that we are ready to face current as well as future threats. What helps us is that the groundbreaking work for integrating and interlinking NATO and national defense plans has already been done. Now, we must actively work to make sure we can execute these plans with a minimum amount of risk. NATO is stronger and readier than it has ever been, but we want and need to do more in order to deter and defend any potential threat. And with that, I would like to give the floor to the Supreme Allied Commander Europe, General Cavoli. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman Admiral Bauer. Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to have the opportunity to speak to you after today's very productive CHOD session. So as Admiral Bauer pointed out, at the NATO summit in Vilnius last July, Allied heads of state and government approved our regional plans. And this gave Allied Command Operations, the command that I command, the necessary framework to move forward with modernizing our collective defense system. And since then, we've made very great strides in ensuring our plans are executable. It's clear that the plans provide everything our alliance needs to defend every inch of NATO territory, and we are rigorously testing those plans at every opportunity and refining them as we go forward. This past January, for example, we began Exercise Steadfast Defender, which is the largest NATO exercise since the end of the Cold War. It's the first live exercise to test our family of plans in an Article 5 scenario. This is a very big advance. Over the past 3.5 months, more than 90,000 personnel from all 32 allies have been training shoulder to shoulder towards collective defense. We've rehearsed our ability rapidly to generate combat power, and we've verified our formation's interoperability at scale. So, of course, a major element of modernizing our collective defense system is ensuring that we can operate at that scale large scale, to synchronize multi-domain operations across the theater. So we're rebuilding our structures, our mechanisms, our procedures throughout Allied command operations. We've recreated SHAPE as a strategic warfighting headquarters, and we've streamlined how nations offer forces to NATO, and we are adapting our joint force commands for their new task at hand. We've done all this very rapidly. The pace of modernization throughout the alliance right now is astounding, be it in structure, procedure, or process. We still have much to do, of course, but allies have responded with a sense of urgency. We are more committed now than ever, and now that we've refocused on deterrence and collective defense, it's clear that NATO stands united, strong, and ready for any challenge. Thank you.